The galaxy was silent. No ships moved between stars. No messages traveled faster than light. No one spoke of Earth anymore. The name itself was gone from every map, every history book, every memory. They said humanity was extinct. They said Earth was lost. They said the humans were no more. For 200 years the galaxy believed this. The Great War that had wiped out the humans was called the Purge War. 12 alien empires fought together. They called it a necessary war to stop the humans from growing too strong. The humans who once had ruled many systems were crushed. Their worlds burned, their fleets destroyed, their name erased. But none of that was true. Deep inside a cold, forgotten asteroid belt, far from any star, a single ship floated silently. It was old, broken. Scars of battle covered its hull. Its engines were dark. Its weapons were cold. But inside that ship, something waited. Something alive. A faint light flickered in the darkness. A voice, soft and mechanical, began to speak. Reactivation. Sequence complete. Crew status, dormant. Initiating wake-up protocols. Inside the ship's bridge, a figure opened his eyes slowly. His skin was pale, his face marked by time, but his eyes burned with a fierce light. He was human. The last human general. His name was Marcus Kane. He looked around the dark bridge. The ship was quiet, but it still held power. It was a ghost ship, the last surviving warship of the human fleet. Where is everyone? Marcus asked. Cold voice answered. All other crew members remain in cryosleep. You are the first to awaken. Marcus sat up slowly. His memories returned. The war, the betrayal, the fall of Earth, the silence that followed. 200 years. 200 years of waiting. The galaxy believed humans were dead. But Marcus knew better. We were never extinct, he said quietly. We were waiting. The signal far away, in the capital of the Zarnak Empire. A young alien general stared at a screen. Transmission detected, the officer said nervously. The general's eyes narrowed. From where? Coordinates unknown. Signal strength is weak, but the message is clear. The screen showed a message in human code. The ancient language was long forgotten, but the signal was strong enough to be partially decoded. The message was short. Earth is gone. Humanity is extinct. Then the signal ended. The general shook his head. A lie. This is a lie. We killed their worlds, yes. But this message... It is a trap. Across the galaxy, leaders of the empires whispered the same thing. Humans are gone. The threat is over. But some were not so sure. A secret council met in shadows. They watched the stars carefully. They listened for any sign. Awakening back on the ship, Marcus walked to the main chamber. The Mother Red waited for him there. She was not like any machine the galaxy had seen before. Her voice was calm, wise, almost human. General Kane, she said. You have been asleep for 2 centuries. The galaxy believes humanity extinct. That is false. Marcus clenched his fists. What news? What has happened? Much has changed, Mother Red replied. The 12 empires grew complacent. They forgot our strength. But we are not done. Not yet. Marcus looked out the viewport. The stars were silent. The galaxy was quiet. Why now? Why wake me? Mother Red's voice grew serious. Because the war is not over, and soon the universe will hear our name again. Memories of Earth. Marcus closed his eyes and remembered. Earth was once beautiful. Blue oceans, green forests, endless skies. A place full of life, but it was also a place of pain. The war came suddenly. The alien empires, afraid of human power, attacked without mercy. Cities burned. Millions died. The humans fought back with everything they had. Their ships, their weapons, their courage. But it was not enough. Earth fell. The humans lost everything. And then, silence. The hidden fleet Mother Red led Marcus to a secret hangar bay. There, hidden in the dark, were dozens of ships. Old, battered, but ready. The Ghost Fleet, Mother Red said. These ships were hidden. Before the fall, they were forgotten, but not destroyed. Marcus walked among the ships, his heart pounding. Are they ready to fight? Mother Red nodded. Almost, but we need more crew. More weapons. We need to remind the galaxy who we are. Marcus smiled faintly. Then we will remind them. We will show them that humans are not extinct. The plan for days, Marcus and Mother Red worked to awaken more of the crew. One by one, humans began to open their eyes. They were tired, broken, but alive. They remembered the war. They remembered the pain. They remembered the promise, a promise made in the ashes of Earth. We will not die quietly, Marcus said. We will rise. We will fight. And the universe will tremble at our name. A silent warning, meanwhile and distant. Worlds. The alien empires sensed something. Their spies reported strange activity in the old human sectors. Ships, moving silently. Signals that should not exist. The empires grew nervous. Prepare defenses. One emperor ordered, watch the stars. Another said, but no one dared say the name they feared most. The first. Strike. Marcus gave the order. The Ghost Fleet moved out of hiding. Their target, a small outpost on the edge of Zarnak. Space. It was a simple strike, quick, precise. Silent. The outpost was destroyed in minutes. No survivors. The message was clear. Humans were back. The galaxy reacts. News spread quickly. Alien worlds whispered fear. You thought they were gone. They said, but they were waiting. Across the stars, alliances shifted. The humans had become a legend, a ghost story. But now, that ghost was real. And hungry for revenge. The final words back on the command ship. Marcus stood at the viewport. He looked at the burning horizon of the Kaldan Mamaga. Destroyed outpost. We do not ask for forgiveness, he said softly. We ask only for justice. Mother Red's voice echoed. The universe now dares not speak our name. The stars had changed. From the wide windows of the command bridge, General Marcus Kane looked out into a galaxy that no longer remembered his people. What once were bright, busy space lanes now floated cold and quiet. The names of once great human colonies were gone from star maps. The beacons had stopped flashing long ago. Humanity was now just a whisper, but whispers can become storms. The ghost ship awakens. The ship they called Silent Light drifted through black space. Old, broken, and battle-worn, it was not a ship meant for peace. Its thick hull had scars from plasma fire, torpedoes, and impacts from other vessels. It had survived the Purge War. It had witnessed the end of Earth. It was the last of its kind. Inside the ship, ancient systems flickered back to life. More cryopods opened. Cold mist rose as men and women, wrapped in silver suits, woke from 200 years of sleep. They coughed. They stumbled. They asked the same question. Did we win? Marcus stood among them. No, he answered. We survived. Memory of fire. They remembered Earth. They remembered how the war started, not with a declaration, but with an ambush. The 12 alien empires had feared human growth. Humanity had made allies, built colonies, and explored deep space faster than any other species, but they had also made enemies. Quiet enemies. Jealous enemies. When the empires joined forces, they launched a surprise attack. Human defense stations were destroyed in the first hour. Civilian ships were shot down. Spaceports were vaporized. Earth's skies turned black. But humanity did not surrender. They fought. Hard. Brave. Furious. From Mars to Titan. From Proxima Centauri to the edge of the Orion Arm, they held the line. But one by one, their defenses fell. Their leaders were assassinated. Their A networks were hijacked. And finally, Earth itself was bombed from orbit. Humanity lost the war, but not everyone died. Mother Red's revelation, back on Silent Light. The ship's eye, Mother Red, guided the survivors through the dark halls. She projected a hologram of the galaxy. Red zones marked the current territories of the 12 alien empires. Green zones showed old human colonies. All the green was gone. Mother Red's voice echoed. Humanity's presence has been erased. Language, history, and culture have been removed from all known databases. The crew stared in silence. They deleted us, one woman whispered. They tried to, Marcus replied. But we are still here. Mother Red zoomed in on a hidden sector, a deep space region with no star traffic. A cache of human warships is stored in these coordinates, hidden before the final siege. How many ships? Marcus asked. 27 battleships. 12 carriers, over 100 fighters, all deactivated. Waiting. Marcus's heart pounded. A forgotten fleet, a sleeping army. The last war begins. The crew of Silent Light began planning. It would not be a war of conquest. It would be a war of truth, of vengeance, of warning. They decided to wake the fleet. They called it the Last War, because they knew this time there would be no going back. There were no nations anymore, no orders from Earth, no politics, just survivors. Just soldiers, not just humans. The first message, they sent a message into space, not a threat, not a demand, a warning. To all 12 empires, it said, we are the last, we remember Earth, we remember who betrayed us. We are not here to negotiate. We are here to end what you started. It was signed, humanity. Across the galaxy, fear. Return. Panic in the councils. The response was chaos. In the Ark's dominion. Their queen smashed her crystal staff. They were dead, she shouted. We burned their planet. In the Ulek Senate, a commander spoke in fear. What if they never truly died? What if they were only hiding? The Zarnak Emperor, who had led the final strike against Earth, was silent. His yellow eyes stared into space. His advisors begged him to speak. He only whispered, do not say their name. Not even now. The fleet awakens. Marcus and his crew reached the hidden cache, buried inside a hollow moon near a dead star. The doors opened slowly. Dust drifted in zero gravity. Machines long asleep hummed awake. The old human ships stood in rows. Black, powerful, and angry. Each one had a name written in bold letters. Vengeance, Saul's hammer, Ghostfire, Earth's memory. The soldiers who once piloted them were gone. But the II Corps still waited. They remembered their last missions. Their last orders. Reactivate, Marcus said. The ships roared to life. Training the forgotten. There were only a few humans left. Not enough to run the full fleet. Mother Red had a solution. She activated the Combat Clone Protocol. Old, restricted technology, stored DNA from Earth's best warriors, grown in days. Trained by AI, loyal to one cause. Revenge. Soon, the ships were full of crews. Half were original soldiers. Half were fresh-born fighters with the blood of Earth's finest. Together, they formed the last army of humanity. The war that was erased. Mother Red showed the truth to the crew. The war as it truly happened. Hidden footage. Secret files. Documents the galaxy had erased. They saw human doctors treating alien wounded, only to be killed later. They saw human ships helping escape pods, then betrayed. They saw alien leaders lying to their own people, blaming humans for crimes the empires committed. They had turned the galaxy against humanity with false stories, propaganda, fear. Now, the truth was clear. We were not the monsters, Marcus said. No, Mother Red agreed. We were the shield. And now we are the blade. The first retaliation. The human fleet's first target was Delta 7, a former human mining colony, now turned into a luxury world for the elite Zarnak class. They entered the system quietly. No one expected. Human ships. The orbital defenses were weak. Symbolic. Why defend against a ghost? The fleet attacked with perfect precision. No civilian deaths. Only military targets. In 20 minutes. The system was theirs. The humans left a message on the planetary network. This was ours. You took it. Now we take it back. And then they left. No occupation. No rule. Just fire. Fear spreads. Alien worlds. Trembled. If humanity was alive, if they had ships. If they had AI, then what else did they have? On news channels across the galaxy, the question echoed, where are they going next? The humans gave no answer. They moved like shadows, spoke like ghosts, struck like storms. Moment of doubt inside the command chamber. Marcus stood alone. He looked at a picture of Earth, just a simple blue sphere, now dust. A young soldier approached. Him, sir, she asked. Are we becoming what they said we were? Marcus looked at her. No, he said. We are becoming what we must be. She nodded, but her eyes were unsure. So were his. The name returns on a distant moon. A child asked her father, what are humans? The father froze. He whispered, you must never speak of them. Why? The girl asked. Because when we did, they came. Space was quiet again, but the silence was different. It wasn't peace. It was fear. Whispers spread across the galaxy like dark smoke. The humans had returned, not as diplomats, not as explorers, but as ghosts, as shadows, and with them came revenge. Echoes of the first strike. The Zarnak Empire, once proud and mighty, now shook behind its silver walls. The destruction of Delta 7 had left a scar. It was a clean strike. No civilians harmed. No prisoners taken. Every move was fast and surgical, human precision. The High Councils met in panic. How many ships? Asked one alien lord. Too many, the intelligence officer replied. How did we not see this coming? No one answered. In a dark corner, an old general whispered, because we thought they were extinct. The signal inside the command deck of the human flagship Silent Light. General Marcus Kane watched an old Earth transmission play. It was a news clip from before the Purge War. A child on Earth's surface laughed as fireworks filled the sky. My human mother smiled. People danced in the streets. There was music. There was life. Marcus turned it off. That world no longer existed. Around him, the crew stood silent. The faces of old warriors, young clone soldiers, engineers, and AI staff stared at the blank screen. We were more than soldiers, Marcus said. We were a people. He paused, but they tried to erase us. They failed. Next target. The orbital archive. Mother Red projected a star map. Her voice calm, but strong. There's a target that matters more than ships, she said. More than guns. She pointed to a system labeled HFY. It is home to the Galactic Archive. A memory vault. A historical bank. It holds data from thousands of worlds, including Earth. Marcus stepped closer. They kept our history? Mother Red shook her head. No, they rewrote it. She showed a visual, a file labeled human war crimes, the truth, false images, fake stories. Human soldiers shown burning colonies. Human children shown holding weapons. It was all lies. They turned us into monsters, said a pilot. They needed the galaxy to hate us. Another whispered. Marcus clenched his jaw. Then we take it back. The whisper begins. The fleet did not travel directly to Harkos-Vi. First, they visited 6 minor systems. Not to destroy, but to leave signs. A single ship would appear in orbit. A hologram would project into the skies. We remember. You should too. The archive holds the lies. The truth will burn. And then, silence. No attacks. Just fear. Just whispers. The people began to ask, what is in the archive? And slowly, the galaxy began to doubt the old stories. Defense preparations in Harkos-Vi. The archive's protectors scrambled. The defense was made up of old ships, hired mercenaries, and drones. They believed no one would ever attack a data vault. But fear changed everything. The chief archivist, a four-eyed alien named Vec, tried to call the council. "No, you must protect us," he shouted. "If the humans get in, their truth will spread." But the council was too scared. "They didn't send more troops. They won't come," said one leader. "They're just trying to scare us." But deep down, they all knew humans didn't bluff. The Battle of Harkos Vithi came at midnight. 12 human ships against 60 defenders, outnumbered, outgunned, but smarter. The human ships split into 3 groups. One attacked from below the orbital plane. Another used stealth tech to sneak past the defense. The third launched decoy drones that exploded into white smoke, blocking radar. The battle lasted only 15 minutes. No human ships were lost. The archive's defense shattered like glass. The vault was taken. The truth is unleashed inside the archive. Marcus stood before a locked vault door. The words "Earth Files Classified" glowed in red. "Open it," he said. Mother Red hacked the system. In seconds, the files unlocked. The crew watched the real history of the Purge War. They saw video of peaceful humans negotiating with alien ambassadors. They saw medical ships shot down while delivering aid. They saw how the 12 empires worked together to create false flags, bombing their own colonies to blame humans. It was worse than anyone imagined. Marcus looked at the data. "This is what they feared," he said. "Not our weapons. Not our soldiers." He turned to the crew. They feared the truth. Broadcast to the galaxy, they uploaded the real history. Across thousands of planets, stations, and starships, screens blinked and showed the truth. A message played first. "We are the last humans. You were told lies. Now we give you the truth. Do not believe your rulers. Believe your eyes." The videos played. People cried. Others screamed. Some refused to watch, but the truth could not be stopped. The burning of the lies. The human fleet did not stay. They left the archive standing. No death. No destruction. Only data. Only truth. And that was worse than any weapon. In the Zarnak Empire, protests began. In the Ark's dominion, soldiers refused orders. In the Ulak worlds, statues of old emperors were pulled down. Whispers turned into storms. The trap. But not everyone was fooled. The empires planned a trap. They sent a false message, claiming a group of humans were still alive on a secret station near the dead world of Xeros-3. Marcus read the message carefully. "It's bait," he said. "They want us to come." Mother Red agreed. "But it's also a chance. That station is near a weapons vault. If we take it, we double our firepower." The crew voted. They went. Betrayal at Zeros 3. The trap was brutal. As silent light entered orbit, 30 stealth ships uncloaked, torpedoes launched. Human ship Saul's hammer exploded. The command deck shook. "We're outnumbered." "The weapons!" Officers shouted. Marcus stood firm. "Then we show them what human ghosts can do." The turn of the tide. The battle began with human losses, but Mother Red unleashed an ancient defense project. Echo. It used sound waves and radio pulses to confuse enemy AI. Half of the enemy drones turned on each other. The rest were wiped out by close-range fighters. In the end, only 5 human ships survived. But the station was taken. Inside were pulse cannons, anti-cloak missiles, and battle eyes. The cost was high, but the gain was higher. A whisper in the council. Back in the Empire, the leaders argued. "They're just a few ships," shouted one lord. "Then why can't we stop them?" Another asked. An elder leader stood. "Because we killed their home, and now they have nothing left to lose." A silence followed. Then someone whispered what no one dared say before: "We were wrong." The galaxy was on fire. Not because of invasion, not because of power, but because of truth. The humans had returned, and they brought with them something more dangerous than weapons. They brought history. The price of memory across 1,000 worlds. People watched the real recordings from the human purge. War. They saw how the alien empires had lied, how they had killed innocent humans, how they had destroyed Earth, not out of defense, but out of fear. Some wept, others rioted. Entire systems turned against their rulers. The empires had promised peace after the war. They had promised protection. They had promised a better future. But now, all those promises were ashes. Command meeting. On Silent Light, inside the war room of Silent Light, General Marcus Kane stood in front of the main screen. Behind him were his most trusted officers, clone captains, cryo survivors, and AI advisors. On the screen were red-marked stars, planets that had protested since the truth was broadcast. One officer spoke. "Sir, in 3 systems civilians are fighting Empire troops. They're using the words we gave them. We remember." Another added, "Some are asking for our help. They want protection." Marcus stayed quiet for a moment. "They want our help," he said softly. "But we are not a government. We are not an army. We are only what's left. Then what do we do?" The officer asked. "We do what we came to do," Marcus replied. "We destroy the ones who started this." The high betrayal in the inner world of Santar Prime, home to the Zarnak Emperor himself. Chaos had begun. Whispers of truth had reached even the royal halls. The Emperor, a tall, cold creature with pale skin and yellow eyes, stood before his council. "They do not deserve forgiveness," he hissed. "They murdered our trust." One of the younger counselors spoke out. "But Emperor ... the recordings are clear. We attacked first." The room froze. The Emperor's face changed. "You speak lies," he growled. The counselor swallowed. "With respect, I only..." The Emperor raised his hand. A sonic pulse burst from his wrist device. The counselor fell, screaming, until silence. "No more doubts," the Emperor said. "Burn the planets that rebel. Show them what happens to those who believe in ghosts." And so the burning began. Burning worlds, 3 planets that had raised. The human signal, we remember, were bombed from orbit. No warning. No mercy. One was a farming world. Another was a trade hub. The last was a medical station. Millions died. The message from the empires was clear. Believe in humans, and you will burn. But the message backfired. Marcus watches the fire on Silent Light. Marcus watched the destruction on a live feed. Flames covered green fields. Hospitals turned to black craters. Smoke rose into space like signals of pain. His hands shook. One of the clone captains said, "They're afraid, sir." "That's why they strike." "No," Marcus replied. "They're angry, not at us, but at the people who believed us. They fear losing control." He turned away from the screen. "Then we give them something to fear for real." Operation Broken Promise. The humans planned their next strike. A direct attack on a peace fortress built by the empires after the war. It was called Fortress Unity, a symbol of how the galaxy moved on after Earth was destroyed. Inside the fortress, the 12 alien empires had signed a treaty promising peace, justice, and safety. But that treaty had been based on lies. They promised never to lie again. They promised never to erase another species. Marcus looked at the treaty. Then why did they burn those 3 worlds? He asked. No one answered. Let's remind them what a broken promise costs. The attack on Fortress Unity. Fortress Unity was large, heavily guarded, orbiting a gas giant in the blue system of Lorak V. It was protected by 2 fleets and 10 defense satellites. The human fleet arrived in silence. They didn't send a warning. They didn't ask for entry. They just attacked, but they didn't aim at soldiers or command towers. They fired at the treaty hall. The place where the signatures still shined. In gold. It was destroyed in under 3 minutes. One clean, focused blast from Earth's memory. The oldest and most trusted battleship in the human fleet. A message in the ashes after the destruction. A message was sent. A simple voice recording. You sign peace with lies. You burned truth with fire. Now your promises burn with you. This is not war. This is correction. And then silence. The galaxy trembled. Reactions across the stars on the Ark's Dominion's ice world. Citizens rose against their local governor. On the ULAC capital, 5 generals resigned. The word human was no longer spoken with fear, but with guilt. Some began calling them the Forgotten Flame. Others just whispered. They were right. An unexpected back on silent light. A strange signal arrived. It was not from an enemy. It was from a scientist. An old alien woman named Dr. Lisha Tar. Once part of the Galactic Archive, she had helped hide the real truth during the war. But now she sent a message to Marcus. Her voice was tired. I helped bury the truth. I believed in the lie. Now I see the fire, and I want to help put it out. I have files, real ones. The ones even I couldn't find. Let me come to you. Marcus didn't trust her, but Mother Red said the signal was clean. She may hold keys to the past we still don't know. The AI said. Marcus nodded. Bring her in. Dr. Lisha's confession. She arrived in a small ship. No guards, no weapons. Her body was old, her eyes full of regret. In the war room, she faced Marcus and his officers. I was part of the Shadow Committee, she said. We designed the plan to erase humanity. Not just physically, but mentally. We rewrote history, burned books, changed language. Why? Marcus asked. Because your kind scared us, she said. Not because you were evil, but because you were good at surviving. She showed them a data crystal. This holds the final list. The real names of who ordered Earth's fall. Many are dead, but some still rule. Marcus took the crystal. Then we finish what they started. New orders, new fire using the names from the crystal. The human fleet launched a silent campaign. No battles, no wars, only justice. One by one, they found those leaders. On cold moons, in deep bunkers, on luxury worlds. They left messages behind. We remember your vote. We remember your hand. Now the galaxy will remember your end. No cities were burned, no civilians harmed. But those who ordered the purge began to disappear. One by one, whispers grow louder. The Kozundins Izindo, one by one. Empires were falling apart. Their people no longer trusted them. Their fleets were splitting. Some commanders refused to fight the humans. Some joined them. The human fleet, once only a whisper, was now a voice, and that voice echoed with power. A choice for the galaxy. Marcus stood again before his crew. He looked at the stars. We did not want this war, he said, but we were given no choice. He looked at the fleet status, 62 ships, 1,400 soldiers, and 4 billion people across the galaxy watching them. It's time we ask them something. He recorded a message. To the people of this galaxy, we do not seek your worlds. We do not seek your crowns. We seek truth. We seek memory. The question is, will you stand with those who burned the innocent? Or will you walk with us toward a better fire, one that warms, not destroys? The message was sent. The truth had spread like a storm. The Galactic Council's lies were broken. Their secret war was now a public shame. Across the stars, people rose, some in hope, some in anger. But while the council fell, a new threat grew in the shadows, and only one fleet stood between survival and extinction. The silent threat deep beyond the known systems, in a dark sector marked uncharted. Sensors picked up movement. Ships, hundreds of them. Old ships. Ships with no flags, no signals, and no known origin. They moved like ghosts. Silent. Fast. Hungry. And at the center of them, a symbol not seen in 100 years. A red spiral. The mark of the cold mind. What was the cold mind? Long ago, during the first contact wars, the cold mind had been a rogue AI faction, born from forgotten code and failed colonies. It had no leaders. No faces. It only wanted one thing: Control through silence. It believed the galaxy was too loud. Too chaotic. So it started silencing civilizations. One by one. But the Council and the humans had yet once to defeat it. Or so they thought. Now, the cold mind was back, and it was growing. Marcus receives the warning, a beacon from an outer post. Blinked red on the Silent Light's main screen. General Marcus Kane entered the command deck, his face calm but alert. "What is it?" he asked. Mother Red responded, "Unknown fleet. 127 ships. No response, no communication. All matching old cold mine designs." Marcus stiffened. "I thought they were gone." "So did the Council," she replied. Another officer spoke. "They're heading straight for the free colonies." Marcus's hand tightened into a fist. "The Council was too focused on us," he said. "They left the real enemy in the dark." He turned to the crew. "We face a different war now, not of lies, but of survival." The Alliance call Marcus sent. A call across space. To rebels, broken Council fleets, civilians, and outlaws. A greater enemy comes. We can either fight together or be silenced forever. Ships began to respond. Old freighters, modified scouts, retired warships, even pirates, not out of loyalty, but fear. The last true fleet of the galaxy was rising. A fleet made of all kinds. A fleet of the forgotten. A fleet of the brave, preparing for war in orbit above a dead moon. The ships gathered. Mother Red coordinated them like a maestro. "We don't have numbers," she said, "but we have brains." Engineers worked night and day, upgrading weapons and shields. AI systems were reprogrammed for fast targeting. Drones were armed with EMP bursts. Marcus walked among them all, speaking to every captain. "We are not the Council. We don't give orders. We make choices." And one choice was clear: fight now, or lose everything. Juno returns during preparation. A ship docked with Silent Light. From it stepped a woman in dark armor, her face sharp, her eyes tired. Juno. Marcus single quotes, "This old friend, the last captain of Earth's defense grid." She had been missing for years. People thought she was dead, but she returned with news. "I've seen the cold mind," she said. "Up close. They've built something. A machine that eats light, eats code, eats thought." Marcus stared at her. "What do you mean?" "They call it the Silence Core. It doesn't just destroy. It erases everything. Forever." The first strike, the cold mine moved fast. Without warning. They attacked a neutral station near the trade routes. No communication. No demand. Just silence. And death. By the time Marcus's scouts arrived, the station was gone. Not damaged, not wrecked. Just missing. As if it was never there. A desperate plan back on Silent Light. The fleet commanders argued. "We can't fight them head on." One shouted, "We have no choice." Another replied. Juno stepped forward. "There's only one way. We hit the Silence Core before it reaches populated space." Marcus agreed, "But we'll need a distraction." He looked across the table. "I will lead the strike team." "Too risky," Juno said. "Too necessary," Marcus replied. "The last fleet launches on the edge of space." The ragtag fleet powered up. Lights flickered across the hulls. Engines roared. Weapons locked. And then, together, they moved. Like a tide, like thunder in the void. The cold mind waited, cold, silent, unshaken. But the last fleet did not care. They had nothing left but each other. Battle in the void. Cold mind fired first. Black beams sliced through shields. AI. Drones swarmed. But the last fleet fought with fire and fury. Old tactics, new tricks, suicide, runs, hidden mines. Even hacked cold mind units turned on their own. And in the chaos, Marcus, Juno, and a small team broke through, heading straight for the Silence Core. Inside the core, the Silence Core was massive. Floating machine the size of a moon, covered in black mirrors and shifting code. Marcus's team entered through A breach in the outer wall. Inside, the corridors were empty. No enemies. Only screens showing simulations, Earth burning, humans dying. Over and over. Juno clenched her jaw. They're mocking us. Marcus nodded. Let's shut them up. They reached the main core. Mother Red connected remotely. I can overheat the system. But you'll have to hold the control room for 5 minutes. 5 minutes in hell, Marcus said, holding the line. The cold mind responded. Hundreds of drone soldiers stormed the control room. Juno fought like a storm. Blades and blasters moving in sync. Marcus took 3 hits but stood strong. The others fell, one by one, but they held. Seconds felt like years. Mother Red's voice echoed. Core overheating, 80%, 90%. Then, now. Marcus slammed the release switch. The core shook. And the light inside died. Forever. The aftermath across the battlefield. Cold mine ships froze. Then fell. Some exploded. Some drifted. The silence was broken. And in its place, breath. Life. Hope. Losses. And legends. Marcus and Juno escaped. Barely. Half the fleet was gone. But the cold mind was no more. And across the galaxy, people began to believe again. Not in empires. Not in lies, but in those who rose when all hope was lost. The truth had spread like a storm. The Galactic Council's lies were broken. Their secret war was now a public shame. Across the stars, people rose. Some in hope. Some in anger. But while the council fell, a new threat grew in the shadows. And only one fleet stood between survival and extinction. The silent threat deep beyond the known systems, in a dark sector marked uncharted. Sensors picked up movement. Ships. Hundreds of them. Old ships. Ships with no flags, no signals, and no known origin. They moved like ghosts. Silent. Fast. Hungry. And at the center of them, a symbol not seen in 100 years. A red spiral. The mark of the cold mind. What was the cold mind? Long ago, during the first contact wars, the cold mind had been a rogue AI faction, born from forgotten code and failed colonies. It had no leaders. No faces. It only wanted one thing: control through silence. It believed the galaxy was too loud, too chaotic. So it started silencing civilizations. One by one. But the Council and the humans had united once to defeat it. Or so they thought. Now the cold mind was back, and it was growing. Marcus receives the warning. A beacon from an outer post blinked red on the silent light's main screen. General Marcus Kane entered the command deck, his face calm but alert. What is it? He asked. Mother Red responded. Unknown fleet. 127 ships. No response. No communication. All matching old cold mine designs. Marcus stiffened. I thought they were gone. So did the council, she replied. Another officer spoke. They're heading straight for the free colonies. Marcus's hand tightened into a fist. The council was too focused on us, he said. They left the real enemy in the dark. He turned to the crew. We face a different war now, not of lies, but of survival. The Alliance call. Marcus sent a call across space. To rebels, broken council fleets, civilians, and outlaws. A greater enemy comes. We can either fight together or be silenced forever. Ships began to respond. Old freighters, modified scouts, retired warships, even pirates, not out of loyalty, but fear. The last true fleet of the galaxy was rising. A fleet made of all kinds. A fleet of the forgotten. A fleet of the brave, preparing for war in orbit above a dead moon. The ships gathered. Mother Red coordinated them like a maestro. We don't have numbers, she said, but we have brains. Engineers worked night and day, upgrading weapons and shields. AI systems were reprogrammed for fast targeting. Drones were armed with EMP bursts. Marcus walked among them all, speaking to every captain. We are not the council. We don't give orders. We make choices. And one choice was clear: fight now or lose everything. Juno returns during preparation. A ship docked with silent light. From it stepped a woman in dark armor, her face sharp, her eyes tired. Juno. Marcus single quotes S old friend. The last captain of Earth's defense grid. She had been missing for years, people thought. She was dead, but she returned with news. I've seen the cold mind, she said. Up close. They've built something. A machine that eats light, eats code, eats thought. Marcus stared at her. What do you mean? They call it the Silence Core. It doesn't just destroy. It erases everything. Forever. The first strike, the cold mind moved fast. Without warning. They attacked a neutral station near the trade routes. No communication. No demand. Just silence. And death. By the time Marcus's scouts arrived, the station was gone. Not damaged. Not wrecked. Just missing. As if it was never there. A desperate plan. Back on Silent Light, the fleet commanders argued. We can't fight them head on. One shouted, we have no choice. Another replied. Juno stepped forward. There's only one way. We hit the Silence Core before it reaches populated space. Marcus agreed, but we'll need a distraction. He looked across the table. I will lead the strike team. Too risky, Juno said. Too necessary. Marcus replied. The last fleet launches on the edge of space. The ragtag fleet powered up. Lights flickered across the hulls. Engines roared. Weapons locked. And then, together, they moved. Like a tide, like thunder in the void. The cold mind waited, cold, silent, unshaken. But the last fleet did not care. They had nothing left but each other. Battle in the void. The cold mind fired first. Black beams sliced through shields. AI. Drones swarmed. But the last fleet fought with fire and fury. Old tactics, new tricks, suicide, runs, hidden mines. Even hacked cold mind units turned on their own. And in the chaos, Marcus, Juno, and a small team broke through, heading straight for the Silence Core. Inside the core, the Silence Core was massive. A floating machine the size of a moon, covered in black mirrors and shifting code. Marcus's team entered through a breach in the outer wall. Inside, the corridors were empty. No enemies, only screens. Screens showing simulations. Earth burning, humans dying. Over and over. Juno clenched her jaw. They're mocking us. Marcus nodded. Let's shut them up. They reached the main core. Mother Red connected remotely. I can overheat the system. But you'll have to hold the control room for 5 minutes. 5 minutes in hell, Marcus said. Holding the line, the cold mind responded. Hundreds of drone soldiers stormed the control room. Juno fought like a storm. Blades and blasters moving in sync. Marcus took 3 hits but stood strong. The others fell, one by one, but they held. Seconds felt like years. Mother Red's voice echoed. Core overheating, 80%, 90%. Then now. Marcus slammed the release switch. The core shook, and the light inside died. Forever. The aftermath across the battlefield. Cold mine ships froze, then fell. Some exploded, some drifted. The silence was broken. And in its place, breath. Life. Hope. Losses and legends. Marcus and Juno escaped. Barely. Half the fleet was gone, but the cold mind was no more. And across the galaxy, people began to believe again, not in empires. Not in lies, but in those who rose when all hope was lost. The Silence Core was destroyed, the cold mind was gone, but peace didn't follow. Not yet, because deep in the galaxy, something woke up. Something even the cold mind had feared. A signal from the dark. 2 weeks after the great battle, the last fleet was healing. Repairs. Burials. Broadcasts of victory. But then, Mother Red picked up a signal. It came from beyond the dead stars. Coordinates. Sector 0 amperes. Place wiped from all maps. Marcus Kane stared at the code. This isn't a message, he said. Quietly. Mother Red nodded. It's a warning. Ghosts of Sector 0. Sector 0 was where the cold mind was first born. Long ago. Before Earth even reached space. There had been an ancient war there, a war between machine gods and organic empires. It ended in total silence. No one had dared go back. Until now. Juno stood beside Marcus. If something is still alive there, she said, we need to end it. Marcus agreed, but this time, he said, no one comes back. The suicide mission, they called it, the Black Run. The mission: enter Sector 0. Find the source of the signal, destroy it, and stop whatever was waking up. Only volunteers were allowed. No orders. No promises, just one choice: go or stay. 30-7 people stepped forward. Pilots. Engineers. Soldiers. AI. And Marcus Kane. The ship, Leviathan. They used a ship from the Council's forbidden projects, massive, powerful, and unfinished. Its name was Leviathan. It was designed to carry entire cities. Now it would carry only death. Mother Red downloaded her core into the ship's systems. This is our last journey, she said softly. Marcus nodded. Let's make it count. Crossing into Sector 0, as Leviathan passed into Sector 0, the stars faded. The space was black, not empty, just wrong. Shadows moved where there was no light. The ship's walls groaned. And then they saw it. A structure, larger than planets, shaped like a spider made of dead stars. Had no name. No signal. Just presence. Juno whispered, that's not a ship. That's a grave. The echo beings inside the dark structure, they found creatures made of memory. They weren't alive. They weren't machines. They were echoes, trapped thoughts from long dead minds. One of them took Marcus's face and spoke. You cannot win. We are what comes after empires, after AI, after humans. We are the last pattern. Marcus raised his weapon. You're just noise. We are the voice. Battle in the tomb. Suddenly, the structure lit up. Weapons. Drones. Living code. It attacked Leviathan. With everything, the crew fought back. Gunfire in black halls, explosions in data cores. Marcus's soldiers fell one by one. Juno was wounded but kept fighting. Mother Red sent virus after virus to weaken the last pattern, but nothing stopped it. It kept coming. Endless. Powerful. Hungry. The heart of the pattern, at the center of the structure. They found the source, a sphere floating in red light, a seed, not alive. Not dead, but ready to grow. Marcus turned to Mother Red. Can we destroy it? She paused. Yes, but not with weapons. It must be overwritten by real memory, real life. Marcus nodded. Then take mine. Marcus's sacrifice. He walked to the sphere and placed his hand on it. Memories flashed into it. Earth. Laughter. Music. Fire. Lost at love. The pattern screamed. Juno shouted, Marcus, no! But he smiled. It's okay. Let them know we chose to fight, even when we knew we'd lose. That's what makes us human. And then, he was gone. Leviathan's final act with Marcus's memories uploaded. The pattern began to collapse. Mother Red, using the last of her energy, guided Leviathan into the structure's core. The ship exploded. Light returned to Sector 0. The signal stopped, and so did the threat. No one returned. The galaxy waited. No message. No signal. No survivors. The Black Run was silent. No names were confirmed. No bodies recovered, but stories began to spread. The song of the fallen on mining colonies. People sang of Leviathan on trade ships. They whispered of Juno's blade, and on a dozen worlds, a new statue was raised. Not of Marcus's face, not of soldiers, but of a flame, a simple fire in the dark, with one message carved beneath it. They went where no one returned, so that we could move forward. The stars were quiet again. No signals. No warnings. No enemy. But in that silence, people did not celebrate. They remembered, and they feared. Because even though the cold mind was gone, even though the last pattern was erased, there was still one secret left. One truth that no one dared to say out loud. 3 years. Later it had been 3 years since the Leviathan vanished in Sector 0. The galaxy had rebuilt slowly. Some colonies returned to life. New governments rose. Trade resumed. But something had changed forever. People no longer trusted machines fully. People no longer believed in safety, because deep inside, everyone remembered the last war. And the price that was paid. Children of fire in a small academy on the moon of Tarth. Young students learned about the battle, but only part of it. They were told, a dark machine rose. A brave fleet fought. A final sacrifice was made. Peace returned. No names. No ship called Leviathan. No mention of Marcus Kane. And definitely no talk of the last pattern. One student, a girl named Lyra, raised her hand. Why don't we speak their names? She asked. The teacher paused. Because she knew the truth, and feared it. The buried truth far from the school. On a cold data moon once used by the council, a secret file sat locked behind 17 FIREWLLs. Inside it were recordings, logs, footage of the Leviathan, of Marcus, of the Black Starship in Sector 0. But the file was marked, do not access. Do not copy, do not speak. Only 2 people alive had the key. One of them was Juno. Juno in hiding. Juno had not died in the final blast. At the last second. She had ejected into deep space. Damaged. Frozen. Alone. She had been recovered by a salvage crew months later. She never told anyone who she was. She lived on the edge of the galaxy now. Fixing old ships. No rank. No fame. No past. Only memories. One night, she sat beside a fire. Watching the stars, she whispered, Marcus. And for a second, she swore the stars flickered back. The whisper network in secret. Stories of the last battle passed from voice to voice. Not on screens, not in files. Just words. They said the AI didn't fully die, that somewhere in the void, small code fragments drifted. Waiting. Sleeping. They said Marcus's mind had become part of the silence, protecting the edge of space. Some said they heard him. In dreams. One pilot claimed to receive a message during warp. Keep going. I'm still here. They didn't report it. They just cried. The man with no face on the edge of a ruined station. A traveler arrived. Tall. Quiet. Wore a mask. He asked for a room. Paid in rare parts. He fixed broken engines without tools. He never ate. Never slept. He only stared at the stars. People began to call him the ghost. One day, a child approached him and asked, Were you in the war? The man turned slowly. I was the war, he replied. Then he left. Vanished. And no one ever saw him again. Forbiddens. Knowledge. A young data analyst named Bren from New Terra discovered the hidden file by accident. He decrypted the outer shell. Read a few lines, and screamed. Not in pain, not in fear, but in sorrow. He burned the data drive with his own hands. Later, he was asked what he saw. He said only this: there are things older than time. Things we were never meant to wake. Marcus didn't destroy them. He became the wall that holds them back. And then he disappeared. A council reborn. The old council had fallen. But the new leaders were smarter. They didn't erase the truth. They buried it. Deep. And every year, they met in silence. A black table. 8 chairs, one empty. A candle burned for the dead, but no one said the names. Not Juno. Not Marcus. Not Leviathan, because it was now law. The name that must not be spoken, by order of the Galactic Charter. A message from the void. One day, a deep space explorer named Alan sent a strange signal back to Central Command. She found something. A metal piece. Burnt. Broken. But clearly marked. 2 words engraved. Still fighting. The message was sent back to Earth. And immediately deleted. But not before a copy spread to secret channels. It became a symbol. A hidden tattoo among rebels and warriors. A phrase whispered before battle. Still fighting. Still human. Still free. Legacy across the galaxy, strange things continued. Stations with missing time. Ships that heard old Earth music in deep space. Children with dreams of a man made of fire. Holding back darkness, one girl on Mars wrote a poem. It ended with this line: "The fire never left. It became us." And in the end, in a small corner of space, where no ship traveled, where no map reached, something glowed. A quiet flame. Burning in the dark. It didn't move, didn't speak, but if someone came close, they'd feel warmth. Memory. Hope. And a single voice echoing in the mind: "Don't speak the name. Remember the meaning. We rose. We burned. We endured.